Sugar?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We live, y'all.
Peace to the family. What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Peace, peace. We lit. We live. We alive. It's a
We live.
blessing. It's a blessing.
Let me go ahead and share
Woo.
everything out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, everything going real good. It's been had a real good start. Man, my wife's birthday was actually yesterday, man. It's been a great week, man. Yeah, we always get some good reflecting time every time, birthday come around. You get some time to reflect just on how far you made it. And I'm always one just to mention how far, God has brought us, man. So it's definitely a blessing, man. Yeah, and this week has been real strong, as always. You got to set the tone. Yeah, you got to set the tone at the beginning of the week.
Yes, sir. Yeah, set that tone off right, man, for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Actually, I felt like I set it off right too. I started my Monday with a workout. Worked out at 5:30 in the morning. Super dope. You know what I'm saying? Um, I had a good workout. I did a workout Sunday. Crazy. I did 3 workouts on Sunday.
Oh yeah, you gonna get it.
You know how we do, man. So I got it in legs with the guys. Then I had to do some chest, you know what I'm saying? So still gotta grow that. After that, did some back. I wasn't even expecting to go that hard on back, but shoot. Hey, we went hard on back, man. You know what I mean? Trying to go to lats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I see you. I see you. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
And
Keep
let's
that
see what
grind going.
Monday. Uh Monday I did chest again, but I did a lot of reps, so I didn't go heavy. Um, Let me see. I did bicep curls, and then Tuesday. Dang, what did I do Tuesday? I did legs and shoulders. Yeah, legs and shoulders Tuesday, and then today, this morning, I did legs. So yeah,
Oh yeah, you're gonna get it for sure. For sure. I see you. I see you out there hitting it.
yeah. I've been on a crazy workout schedule so far. So
Yeah, yeah. Keep that up. Keep that up.
yeah, you already know it.
Commitment. That
But yeah,
commitment,
man.
that dedication.
Yeah, that's what it's about, man. It's about that dedication, most definitely.
Absolutely.
Um, you know what I'm saying? Just that drive to not quit, always having setting goals. We always talk about like goal setting. So I'm just pretty much checking them off that list.
Yep, yep, yep. All those topics, all the gems we be dropping, you actually apply them to your life. Look at that. You feel me?
Hey, it's a brand, baby.
Yeah.
I gotta live my brand life. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if I'm pushing this brand, if you're pushing the brand, I gotta have people like you and myself, be that testament. You know what I'm saying? Because again, this is our life. It's not like we doing it for the joy. We actually live it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like just I'm just we front about it. Like we're giving honest truth because this is just what we do.
So, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that too, man, because like I wanted to give some good game and I know everybody see the topic, talking about sugar. Like really, like what is real sugar and like do we really know what's in it? You dig? I know we all love it, give us that sweet craving. Holidays are coming up, you got Halloween coming up.
Oh yeah,
Everybody
oh
wants something sweet. Everybody wants
yeah.
you dig? Everybody want pie. Thanksgiving they want, all these good sugars, man. You know what I'm saying? Christmas time coming up. They got the holiday food, the cakes, the pies, everything. This is a
Sure.
perfect time for them. You did.
For
And I feel like
sure,
I'm
for
about to burst
sure.
some bubbles a little bit. But do what you want with the information, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, oh yeah.
So
That's it. That's it.
I think what I really want to do is pretty much just to tell um just like the sugar benefits, because we know sugar, it comes from sugar cane. But we also realize that there are different types of sugar out there. So
Mhm.
I'll just kind of give my just introduction of what I believe on sugar. just the different types. I'm going real basic. I'm not going overboard, but most people know there's brown sugar, there's white sugar, powdered sugar, and you got the cane sugar. You know what I'm saying? And so we use it for anything. If we have a sweet craving, you know, we put it in candy, we put it in cakes, we put it in pies, we put it in cookies, anything to give us that sweet craving. You know what I'm saying? It hits our vitals a certain way. So that pretty much is just the basic, from my understanding on sugar. So, Show, what's your take on sugar?
Man, I wasn't even I got excited about this topic too, because I figured I was gonna learn a lot. I just kind of stay away from it personally. But I did actually punch up the definition real quick. So we definitely can break it down. That'll help me break it down a little bit more.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
so sugar, by definition, is the generic name for sweet tasting. Okay, so soluble carbohydrates, many of which are used in foods. Simple sugars, as you stated, Kobe, at the beginning, there are different sugars. Simple sugars, also called monosaccharides, include glucose, fructose, and galactose. Compound sugars, also called disaccharides or double sugars, are molecules made of two bonded monosaccharides. Common examples are sucrose, lactose, maltose. White sugar is a refined form of sucrose. In the body, compound sugars are hydrolyzed into simple sugars. All right, so I didn't know it was going to go that technical. Um, but basically, for me personally, it's just I stay away from them. I keep them low. I know they're not good when you're trying to when you have those health goals. They definitely peace. There he is. Yeah, just not the best thing for you when you have those health goals in mind. So for me, I just try to consume just more natural sources of sweeteners. For me,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, that's a bet, man, for sure. And that's
Peace,
that's all I
peace.
wanted to do, just to get the basic, definition of, just sugar, just to kind of give people a understanding, because when they think sugar, they just, they think automatically just white sugar. Most people don't know that there's different types of sugar out there, right? So I think it's just a basic understanding, just to kind of open their eyes and say, oh, okay, cool, cool. Then we can kind of go more in depth. What I'm saying, a little later. So as you can see, we got a special guest, my
Yeah.
Hey,
boy,
how you
German.
doing, guys? What's up?
Peace. What's going
What's going
on?
on, boss?
Very happy to see you.
Hey man, bro, it's a blessing to see you, fam. I think last time I seen you, bro, was we was at the YMCA, bro. We was getting it in.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
real. Yeah, even recently, and you can call that recently, I think, but it was probably a year ago, man.
It was
Because
exactly, exactly.
time is doing its thing, man, and
Yeah,
and and then Showtime, man. It's been a minute. I
Yeah,
know it's been
yeah.
a minute. I haven't seen him in a minute, but every time I see him, working.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. I see
yeah.
you. I see you too, man. I'm liking your work. I'm liking your work, man. I follow you. I keep up with your stuff, though. Definitely, we haven't seen each other in person, but I see you, man. I like everything I see.
I
yeah,
Definitely.
appreciate that, man. I always try to, work hard or work smart, either or try to find a third, if I can figure it out. So
Yeah.
yeah,
hustling, hustling. Most people don't
and
even know, man. German, man, you good with your hands, dog. You know what I'm saying? This man is a business owner. You dig what I'm saying? He's got his own business out here, hustling in Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? Tell the people a little bit, what I'm saying, about you. What you do
okay,
around the Charlotte community.
yeah. Well, what I do is I have a business, right? My business name is Midas Touch. I do commercial and residential painting, cabinet painting, epoxy floors, anything home improvement related, right? If I can do it myself, and if I can't, I can always find somebody that to get you connected with. I can always try to facilitate the friction when trying to find the right contractor on things. So that's one thing I do, and the other thing is I'm a fitness advocate, right? And a healthy eater. Not all the time, because I personally believe that that's very, very, very difficult when you're
Mhm.
trying to be a high performer,
Yeah,
right? Because they're constantly going, they're constantly trying to achieve. will will deteriorate the mindset sometimes, you know. And as a high performer, sometimes what you have, that's all what you have. Your mindset is the only thing that sets you apart from the rest. So,
Yeah,
sometimes giving you a little bit of leeway on things is good. So I'm a moderation type of preacher. You know, I preach
for sure.
moderation in my fitness, in my work, in my sleep, in my fun, in all those things. So
Yeah. Hey,
yeah,
that's what's up. Literally, bro. That's what we do, man. Seriously, that's what this whole podcast on, man. We all got, things going on. We got businesses, dog, but we all in the fitness at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has, different perspectives. Everybody has, similar ideas too. And honestly, like I said, we're just here to inform the people. It's
that's
about
right.
fun, fitness, inspiration. You dig? So I'm glad you're here, man. So yeah. And if you didn't see it, man, today's topic, we're actually going over sugars, right? So that's
Okay.
the main topic.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna also come back kind of like with a second hit question as well, just kind of like a second topic. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? So we will keep it nice and brief, man. But so Showtime actually just gave pretty much the real description of sugar, right? And
Okay.
I think he was getting into a little bit about why he doesn't use sugar, right? Just giving his perspective. So once he gets done with it, excuse me, I'm gonna give my perspective on sugar too. Just keeping it brief, and then we'll go a little bit in depth later, and I'll have you give your take on sugars. You know what I'm saying? What you think? What do you
Right.
use if you do use it? Keeping it like I said, very basic.
Okay.
Yeah. So show it if you want to continue or
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like I was. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I was gonna say one thing. Just one thing before. When you said
yeah,
sugars, right? It's like different sugars for different habits.
yeah,
So
exactly. Yep.
yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to
yeah,
cut
yeah.
you off, Showtime. Go
Oh
ahead.
no, you
Sorry.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, you good. You definitely good. I was just gonna mention. So when I read the definition, it was super technical. There were a lot of terms, and I just wanted to add, man. So that for me just lets me know it's like we putting something, like what you just really want to monitor what you're putting in your body, and
Mhm.
that's what that led me to. And I wanted to mention too, like you guys are saying, I won't lead you to believe that I consume zero sugars. Like you said, like we touch everything in moderation. And I'll close with that. So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely,
yeah.
man. And I agree with you too. Honestly, I'm not a sweets person. I mean, just me naturally, I'm just not a sweets person.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna necessarily say I don't eat sugar at all. Like that's no. I do like sweet potato pie. You feel me? I do. I think I said it on another show. Like I eat candy too. Like I like Skittles. I don't eat those every day, right? But
Yeah.
I still have that that flavor taste for it. But for the most part, like I said, I normally don't eat it like that. It's just like I said, it's just a taste, a little filler. Um, but for the most part, a lot of food has sugars in it, like sugar beets. So they kind of derive or found in harvested from sugars. So there are foods out there derived from it, like there's honey. You know what I'm saying? What's another one? Like molasses, right? So all those like derive in sugar, right? But they're not necessarily bad for you all the way. You know what I'm saying? So I think uh good there's good ways to take it because there's also sugars in fruit, right? And there's a reason for that, So I don't think all sugars are bad. I think that the additive sugars are something that we need to be cautious of. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we can get away from it completely, but I think it's also good to understand that the additive sugars are the ones that can be the most harmful. I'm not gonna say they're gonna be instantly harmful, but that's something that you want to just be mindful of because a lot of food do have additive sugars. So my take on it for me, if I do sugar, I try to keep it as natural as possible. So some of the stuff I name like molasses, what's another one I said? Honey, agave. You know what I'm saying? You can even use date sugar. So most people don't know about date sugar. I use date sugar too. There's coconut sugar as well. So there's different additives that you can use for sugars. It's still sweet, but that's me. I'm a mostly whole foods type of person, so that's just how I like to look at it. So I like to keep things as a natural energy. natural foods, whole foods. So, if you see me eating like a plant-based waffle, you know what I'm saying? It's probably gonna be some date syrup on that thing, or I
Yeah,
might put some agave on it, right? Just
that's
to
right,
give it a
man.
little, sweetener. But again, it comes from a natural source. So, like, that's just me. That's just my take on it. So yeah, German. So what's your take on sugars, man?
Okay, so I like how you said that there's sugars in fruits, right?
Yep.
So because everything that it's already made here, like let's say as far as the systematic health organization that we have running things right, and the type of food, the FDA, and the type of sugars that are allowed to be consumed by the people, those are just replicating what it's already there, which is the sugars in nature, right? Which is just showing us that it's the most readily available source of energy, right? And the reason why we like it so much is because it's because of how effective it is at doing so.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah.
So we have the fruits, right? And if because I'm gonna be honest with you, man, I've gotten to the point sometimes where I really don't eat as much, but a few slices of watermelon,
Yep.
and I'm good to go. And I go to work, I work out, I get everything that I need to do, and I feel great
Mm.
So yeah.
because learning how to manage the energy wasting is what's necessary, right?
Yeah. I
Because
like.
we are so obsessed at wasting it, and that's the reason why we need to feed ourselves with all this garbage sugar.
Yeah. Man, you hit it on the hammer, man. I think you touched into a whole new field because like, energy wasting, bro. We waste
Yeah,
a lot of food here in the United States, bro. Like a lot. People don't realize that either. So you touched on a good point. If you're gonna eat something, you gotta use it for its energy, and not
yeah,
just actually waste it. Yeah.
correct. Yeah, and it's knowing when to use it and what to use it for. I think is the key part, right? Because as far as being readily available, there's nothing like sugar, because we even have other things that they are fusing it, right? They fuse sugars with our pre-workouts or with other things that we decide to take just because of how effective it is to get in our bloodstream.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a relationship that we have built up with it, and I think we have to learn how to play our part in it.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. And like some people they get that sugar crash. You know, I think that's the some of the effects from those additive sugars.
Yeah,
Um so
yeah,
like for
it's
me, I don't if I drink coffee for example, I know if I add sugar to it, I'm probably gonna get that crash. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And so it may feed you that energy for that split little bit, but it's
correct.
almost like you get a side effect of you
Yeah,
get more tired. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
So, like you said, I think it's that natural sugar, knowing what to use it for, utilizing it for its full potential. Yep.
Definitely, man. I love that you came through dropping gems. I like how you put a lot of that, man. I love it. I love it. Yeah, yeah,
I
definitely.
appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. It's just the because we have gotten to the point where we don't know how much we need, right? And that's why we always ask a lot of questions.
Yeah,
And
that's
and and we never ask the one who has less. We always ask the one who has more,
yeah,
right? And we're trying to find out what is it that we need. So I think as far as nutrition and diets, and you gotta sometimes maybe start it with a fast, and then begin it the right way, and then from there start taking control of what is flowing through your organs.
yeah,
Because I think that's the best way to see it. Everything that comes in, right, it's just flowing through. It's flowing through. It's not something to keep. It's just doing its part for you to do your part.
there you go. Yeah, and that's the thing about the body, man. Every blood cell, every organ, they all have key roles, that play into how we do. Right, the heart, we know the heart, it pumps the blood to the body. Right, our lungs, they're used for oxygen. You know what I'm saying? So, in my own understanding, and just from what my experience is, like the food that we eat helps us engage in these organs to keep them nice, refreshed, and keep them running. It's kind of
Right.
like a car. So
Yeah.
you put junk in your car, you know what I'm saying? Your car's not going to run that well, right? I don't know if you ever heard this saying. If you ever keep your car clean, it runs better. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
I think
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
there's some facts behind that. You know,
And
so
that is very correct, man. The thing about that is because the car is clean, which is the body, and the driver, which is the mind, feels good.
yeah, yeah.
You
There you
know,
go.
when the mind feels good, the body will follow.
That's facts.
That's
That's facts.
that's with food too, you know. And sometimes we judge ourselves for what we eat, you know, because we haven't figured out why the habit is there.
Yo, that's
And
real.
and and sometimes sugar is so good that it forgets us that we have to figure out that it's a habit.
Yeah. Hey, that's real though, man. Like, man, I hate to go there. I think I might go there, man. You ever heard of like people say sugar's like addictive?
Yeah,
Like it
it's,
almost
it's
plays like it's like a drug, you know?
yeah, it is, man. It's because it's so highly available and highly effective. Everything that could be considered a drug is everything that's highly effective.
Hmm.
You know, it's everything that could be considered a cheat code
Yo,
That's
that's
real.
real.
because it allows you to see things about yourself and the world outside, you know, and how the relationship between those two is happening.
Hey, that's fast. That's fast. What you think about that, show?
Yeah. I definitely wanted to highlight, man, something you said, man. You mentioned you said the sugar that we have the readily accessible majority of it is trying to replicate natural sugars that we already have provided to us. Man, I love
That's
that, and
right.
I was trying to yeah, I wanted to make sure our listeners dissected that. You know, I like that. So you said a few things. Also, a fast I think is really good because everything you guys are touching on, you know, a lot of times what happens is we get those cravings for those sugars that may be the unhealthy sugars, you know, and
Mm,
Absolutely.
that's where generally it becomes a problem. So everything we're speaking about in moderation, yeah, you know, but a lot of times what happens generally speaking is we become attached to those sugars that aren't natural. I love how you put that, man. It's just and that
uh,
make you broke it down. So you had me thinking. I was like, oh shoot, yeah, that's right. You know, because we have natural sugars from fruits, like you said, man. Energized off of watermelon. I'm gonna definitely try. Me being plant based, I've been trying to
Yeah,
just consume more natural
yeah. And you know,
fruits.
to add on that is the key is the electrolytes. The key
Yeah,
is
that's
fusing
real.
sugars with electrolytes,
Oh,
Talk
you
and
got to
about it.
that's the
expound on
key.
that, bro.
That's the key because when you fuse those two things, you don't feel dehydrated, and the sugar feels good. It doesn't feel like it's punching you, and it will not crash you. You will never
Oh,
get a crash from a watermelon.
that's true. That's true, bro. Yo, that's a big gem right there, dog. I like that, dog. And you know what that reminded me of? Like, you know how they say sugar's like a drug because it kicks in the dopamine. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah,
kicks these endorphins. So it makes us think that it's like a quick high. You know what I'm saying? Because of what it does. And like Sho said, it's trying to mimic that natural sugar, but it's not really, you know what I'm saying?
correct.
And those
Yeah,
are some of the side effects. So our body reacts to what we digest. Now we can eat anything. Now how the body reacts to it, you know, that's kind of what it is. And typically
correct.
that sweet flavor will enact those endorphins. And like Sho said, that you know, that's how it is. You know, that's how you get addiction to it because we get addicted to that short term high. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying?
Yeah. The
Yeah.
the 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 reward, you know, because usually the feelings that come in, like Shaw said, the wanting to do it again, the wanting to eat that sugar again, right, is comes from the fact that that sugar is still sitting inside of you.
Mm,
It's you know, it's when people say you are what you eat,
Yeah,
it sounds like a very simple saying, but you really are what you eat, and you are what you ate a couple of months and years ago.
talk
come on.
about it. Talk about it. Yeah.
You know, you're like you reinventing yourself every time you get the chance to either consume
Oh,
Mhm.
and
oh.
You know what I'm saying? Or
Go
either
ahead. Come on, come on.
You
or either
dropping, bro. I'm
sweat
like, hey, go ahead.
and drop that oxidation out. You know, all that sweat and all those bad things out. All those twice, those 2 times is when you do your role. So it's
Mhm.
key to do the right thing at building and to do the right thing at consuming. You know, so that way
Mm.
the addictions that you get, because being a human is just being a bunch of habits together, right? What we do every day and our habits and our routine and what we got going on that works, right? And
Yep.
sometimes those things that don't work, but we can't see them. So
Come on, man.
when we roll in those habits like that, it's just jump into a good line of habits, you know, and things just lay themselves out.
Yo, that's big facts, man. You dropped the bomb, boy.
Came in here. Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love
Yeah,
it. I
you
love
dropped
it.
the bomb on that one, man. It kind of reminded me of like some of the different types of sugar too, and like the different effects of it because, like, I think some of the sweeter sweeteners, I think those are some of well, in my opinion, I think those are some of the worst for you. You know what I'm saying? I guess people would say like if it tastes good, you probably should be worried.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Like,
right, and that's because how intense thing has gotten. You know, the time has passed and things have gotten
yes,
really intense, man. And now for us to feel something,
yeah.
you know, it has to be really intense. And that's the reason why we have to come back to the fast, man. Fasting is key.
Yeah,
Hey, this
yeah.
man going everywhere, dog. He's
He
getting all
going
the
in.
things.
He going in. You know what, man? And I accepted. I think I accepted your challenge. I'm gonna accept the challenge. I'm gonna fast because I got this thing, man, just for me. And I think it's what's a guilt-free pleasure. Is that what they call it? I do the
Yeah,
rains, man. I do the rains or the bangs, man, every morning. And they have Kobe. You just mentioned those artificial sweeteners.
Yep.
And again, meant to mimic natural sugars. But just for me, that's something that we and I'll put it on the table. I'm 100% transparent, man. That's something that for me is something that I want to go to a natural source. That's why when you mentioned that watermelon, and I think for me it's just going to require a fast because, like you stated, it's not a sugar. If you look at a back of, I'll use Bang for instance. If you heard of a Bang, those are the
yeah.
pre-roll. And just for our listeners, if you haven't heard, yeah, just a little zero free. I
Yeah.
think it's like zero
You know,
carbs or something like that.
you
It's,
know
it's pretty
something.
good.
I usually do take some of those if I'm being honest when I'm working fasted in the morning. Like, you know, I break my fast with a sip. I'm not kidding, man. I buy a drink and then I take a sip and then throw it away because I know that as soon as I can get my mind into the state of what it wants to be at, you know, because I know it just wants to have it. It just wants to have it.
Yeah.
As soon as I give the baby the habit, it's ready to go.
Yeah,
Ready to
yeah, I
go.
hear you. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
that's how I do it. Because if you decide to do a drastic change, you know, if you a warrior, you know, like if you've been doing this kind of work, if you can take the pain, it's good. But sometimes it's not necessary to make it as painful.
yeah,
yo,
that
that's
makes sense.
huge, man. Like, yo, I want to say something too, because like I'm like the weirdo of the office a little bit. And I'm gonna tell you why. Like everybody drinks coffee in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Most people get what? Coffee creamer, 2 cups of
Mhm.
sugar, whatever, right? I drink my coffee black. No cream, no sugar. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
it's it's painful because it don't taste. The taste is
yeah.
not there. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
that's how I drink mine
So
too, man. That's how
it's
I
got
drink mine too.
better
I love, yeah,
benefits than anything. So I don't even drink it for the taste. And I think that's where a lot of people get this whole sugar craze in their mind. They eat stuff to taste a certain way. They don't necessarily think
correct.
about
Yeah,
the intention of the food that you eating. I
that's
mean,
right.
I think that's where a lot of people get lost at because I'm more intentional. Once I started to be more intentional about what I drink, what I eat, I saw more benefits doing that than anything else. I mean, like when I went mostly alkaline plant based, that was probably the most dramatic change that I've seen, like in my entire 32 years of living. I remember when I first started the first year, I didn't get any sickness, bro. Like nothing. I wasn't coughing. I wasn't, some people they cough and it's that phlegm, right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I didn't get that. I was able to breathe better. It was, and I can't explain it because I didn't know what I didn't know. I thought I was fine until I went that drastic of a fast, like you just said, fasting from everything except for certain foods, certain drinks. And when I did that, I'll never forget it. I had a bottle of Dasani water, dog. It tasted like chemical water. For the first time ever. Now mind you, this is the Dasani water that we all been drinking from the store. I'm talking about. I know that one bottle just didn't have a bunch of chemicals in it. I know that.
Yeah.
When I had that, I couldn't believe it. And not to Dasani. It's just when that happened. Oh, I said, yo, I need another year. Give me another year because there's no way that the food did
Yeah.
this, right? But it
Yeah.
did, bro. I went another year and the year after that. You know what I'm saying? So, the food always kind of adjusted, but I stayed my same course on fasting or making the choice to say I'm gonna eat this way. I'm gonna drink these things
Yeah.
because I know the benefits from it. I don't even eat food for taste, not necessarily first. I make them taste good, sure, but it's more of the natural way. Just like you said, if I do eat something sweet, I want it to come from a natural source because I realize the intentional purpose behind what I'm eating. So I think you
Yeah.
hit the
And then,
great one on that
bro, if you eat artificial sugars, honestly, that makes the watermelon useless. It will not work
one. There you go.
because it's like trying to do something really strong and then trying to do something very light.
Mm.
Is that's how it works because our bodies get used to the type of treatment we give it every single day, and just the type of thoughts we have also that also builds us, right? So if we go and eat let's say artificial sugars or stuff that are not we eat without the intention to build, right? It always ends up being a problem because the body doesn't want to stop. And if we
Mm.
eat with the intention to stop, it gets upset.
Ooh. Oh, you just hit. Oh man. I think you confusing people with that one.
Hey, listen, it's okay because I think it's very simple. And those who get confused are confused with something else, something even bigger. But it's all right because
Yeah.
I had to be very confused, to find out all
Yeah.
this stuff, what really is true. Because the fitness industry, man, is just it's like WWE in 2004.
Man,
Yeah,
it's Royal
yeah,
Rumble. It's Royal Rumble. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get it how you
Yeah,
can get it. It's so saturated.
yeah,
yeah.
it really is.
You came through, man, dropping gems. I just want to hit, like, and not to go over all of our topics, but go over all of our topics, and, just hitting everything. Authenticity too, man. You spoke about a lot of things, and you mentioned it may confuse people. I understand exactly what you were saying, German, about that. You
Yeah,
want to be real, and I'm being real with myself. Like I said, that's just something for me, and I want to be transparent. That's something for me that I'm going to fast to work on because you hit on a lot of takeaways that I'm going to break down for everybody. If you didn't catch it, he just kind of he really hit. That the sugars that a lot of us think that we are hooked on. Are just mimicking the natural sugars that God has already provided for us here.
amen. That's
So
right.
for me personally, man, you hit a lot of things, man. I've been looking for. Now I want to find a mushroom, man. There's a cordyceps mushroom that I've been researching that provides a lot of
Hmm.
energy, but that's a whole nother topic. But every day, man, every day I do a bang. I'm not comfortable with it, because I don't own shares. I don't own half of the company. I'm even from a financial, from a health perspective. I don't think it's something I should be doing, especially. But like you said, I don't think it's the worst thing. It's not. For me, I haven't been. I don't know. Coffee just don't get me going like a bang do. I just
Mhm.
hit my day, boom, I hit
Okay,
that bang.
it's
You know,
it's the expectation, bro. It's the thing is you're allowing your mind to tell your body what is getting ready for.
Facts. I like everything, and that's why I was just summing up. I was summing up on my end.
Yeah.
What I
Yeah.
learned from everything that you said, I learned just that. It made a lot of sense. What
Hmm.
you said about how the aspartame in the bangs is that artificial sweetener.
Hmm.
Some of those things are stopping the watermelon. So if I wanted to just try to wake up with fruit, which I would love to, being plant based, but
Hmm.
like you said, everything that you're saying, I'm understanding. It's just like it's a programming, and I know it too. I'm a very intelligent person.
Hmm.
Just for me, it's a go to. It gets me going. I'm extremely productive. You feel me?
Yeah.
So and like you said, off of little things, I probably hit the
Yeah.
bang, grab a fruit. I'm going for
Yeah.
the day, man, and I'm really productive. But
Yeah.
a few things. I'm going to definitely start a fast, man. I want to definitely try it and just recondition my mind is what I'm going to do.
There you go.
And I'm going to replace that bang, that energy starter, that day starter with some fruit, which I would love to. I know it's healthier for me,
Hmm.
and but definitely, man, you came through dropping gems. Much appreciated for all the
I
knowledge you
appreciate
gave
you
me.
guys.
No, for real, yo. You definitely did, bro. And I want people to really understand, like, when he said, when this comes to the breakdown, and even when we talked about the sweetness, like how the extra sweet, like it has to be intensive for it to even just feel a little bit. I think that just goes to show how we don't fast and the importance of us to fast. I'm gonna give a personal example. When I did change my diet, right? I went and I did eat, like, let's say I ate a piece of meat, saying for the first time in, like, years, right? When I ate it, I'm not gonna necessarily say I got sick, I'm saying? I didn't get sick at all. But I noticed that I got that little cough, like it's something there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's not how I normally would feel when I had ate, chicken back then. So I know that my body had come accustomed to the fruits, the veggies, the grains so much that this is actually how it really affects the body.
Yeah.
So I
So
started to
so
realize some of the foods and some of the stuff that I would drink would affect me to a high level because it was more intensive when I did my fast. After fasting my body, cleansing my body, I mean, literally, like when I did that, I think my body became a lot more sensitive. And I think that was just the natural state of our bodies, how it's supposed to be. I think we become
yeah.
so desensitized from these sugars, from these different processed foods that we're just so used to, you know? And since our bodies got used to it, yo, that high sugar sweet is now something to where it's like, oh, this is not that sweet. But to me, it's like, yo, this is way too sweet. You know what I'm saying? I remember back in the day, we used to eat we used to drink Kool-Aid. I don't know if y'all drank Kool-Aid back in the day,
Yeah.
right? I'm
Yeah.
talking about we had the hot water and we had, you know what I'm saying, the big teaspoon of sugar, you know what I'm saying? We store all that, you know what I'm saying?
Oh
I
yeah,
couldn't
for
imagine drinking
sure,
that now. You
for
know what I'm saying?
sure.
But yeah, man, like I think that's the importance of the fast because we wouldn't even know how that's gonna feel on us. You know what I'm saying? So I'm actually curious if you do this fast, you know what I'm saying? Like, inform us on how that journey's going. You know what I'm saying? What you're feeling. Because I think there's more than one person that's honestly on the same page as you. There's way more people on the same page as you, and they just don't know. So
Yeah.
I actually take that as well. You know what I'm saying? As far as the
Yeah.
challenge, sure.
I always tell my friends and people if they tell me that they feel sick, if they do like something hurts in their wrist and their legs and anywhere, to start with a fast, just so you really know what you don't know. Because your body will tell you what is causing damages in it, and when you fast, you allow it to build a better or louder communication with you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
real.
yeah. That got me hyped, man. I'm ready for this fast because you hit the points. It's like you already know some of the stuff, but it just helps to hear it again. And I want
Right.
to extend that invite to whoever may see this video. We'll come back when we come back at you next week. Just share what you received from it. I already know how I'm gonna come in intending it. I've been looking for a reason just to kind of kick back on some of the bangs a little bit and
Yeah.
Yeah.
just yeah, just find a more natural source. So
There you
I'm
go.
excited, man. I'm super excited about it. I appreciate it.
Yes,
All
sir.
the knowledge
That's
from
real.
both of you tonight. I told you I was going to get something too. So
Hey man,
yeah.
yeah. We definitely did, man. I came. I didn't even realize Jeremy was gonna be dropping gems like that. I knew he was gonna drop some gems, but man, this dude and came and dropped a whole gold mine on everybody. You dig what I'm saying?
It's
He
just
pulled the nuggets out. You know what I'm saying?
it's I tell people it's like when we speak every time, when we're together talking, it's just
That's true.
I'm just being I'm really just being an accessory to whatever they want to allow themselves to imagine,
Yeah, bro. For sure.
because
I know.
if people allow you to enter, you could say, if you knock at their door and show them the message that you got and they allow you to enter, you can create from that.
Yeah.
And that's how I see you guys, and I see me, and I can see that we have gone through the journey, and we've done the circles, the hurdles, and all those things, and know that this thing is either to make you or break you, the fitness industry, how they say.
Real talk. You're right, man. It's either gonna make you or break you. And I know I done told this a lot of times. Listen, something ain't gonna break me, dog. You gonna have to about kill me, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna stop. You feel me? I'm gonna get there.
Yeah.
You dig? That's real, man. But I appreciate you, German man. You definitely stopped
Sir.
by. You more than welcome, man. Like I said, we do this every Wednesday. I think we're gonna set the time for 7:30. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay,
yeah,
sounds
man.
good.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, man, just from this conversation, I got a few topics that I kind of want to drop. You know what I'm saying? So next week, you never know what we might do. We might have to do another segue to what we just got done
Okay,
talking about.
sounds great. I'm always ready, man. I'm always ready to hear what you guys think about things. Because I know every time you guys let me in, I can see a different world, perspectives
Mhm.
and stuff. It allows me to learn more, about myself and others.
For sure, for
So
sure. Yeah,
For
I want
sure.
to. So what I'm gonna do before we close the show out, I've been asking questions, for anybody who wanted to just kind of know just anything as far as what we want to talk about on the podcast. So I did get one of the questions from, one of the potential risers. So they were thinking about going vegan, right? But they had two questions, and so the first question was the concern of protein intake when going plant based. The second question was how excessive soy is, and like how do you eat the plant based without the soy, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna start with show because I know you've been doing a little bit of stuff when it comes to plant based too, so I know you have an understanding. And then I'll go to Jeremy if you know anything, and then I'll give my final take on it before we close it out. So what you got for him, show?
Man, I'm gonna start with the soy. I'm gonna say with the soy, I highly recommend you do your own research.
For
Man,
sure.
I had some people, some critics with no credentials. Man, they used to scare me so much when it comes to the soy. And then I kind of did my research, man, and I'll say me personally, I consume it a little bit in moderation. There's plenty of things. And I zoned in on that soy. You said the first one was, I know you're going plant based. And you said the first question was,
Protein
um,
intake.
oh, protein intake. And yeah, that's another myth. That's another myth.
Yep.
We get our proteins from the same. That's how it was told to me. We get our protein from the same place the animals get their protein from. A lot of our food, again, not to go back to the natural sources, uh, we are provided from natural sources. Believe it or not, I do think I do feel like we just have to consume, a little bit more when it comes to that in certain foods. I won't even necessarily say that. You just have to, do a little research. I highly recommend, especially if you want to just straight transition. Um, not a lot of times I see people, go and transition in stages. Because if you want to do 100% quick transition and you have the discipline just to say, okay, well, I'm going vegan tomorrow, I definitely recommend you do that research so you're not limiting yourself. It'll be discouraging if you start and then you're like, oh shoot, where do I get protein? And I hear this person saying this, that person saying that. So do your research and find, those beans, those, like chickpeas and different things. Be creative. Think outside the box. Don't just listen to those that are around you, because it'll make it hard. Even for me,
Mhm.
I'll say, like I said, I have a goal of becoming 100% plant-based, but it's a journey. It's been a journey for me. I still consume a little bit of fish occasionally, but
Hmm.
ultimately, just for me personally, I want to be 100% plant-based. And
For
just to
sure.
give you, I'm extremely disciplined. So I say, if you're as disciplined as me, and you want to just flip it, or if it's for health reasons, do your research first. It'll help you transition.
For sure. That's perfect, man. That's perfect. Um, Jeremy, if you want to answer, you know what I'm saying, please give your take on it. If not,
Okay.
I'll go ahead and close it.
I think that becoming vegan is and then first thing is addressing the concern, right, about the protein thing, and one thing that's really funny is that it becomes a concern only when the question arises, right? Because when you see regular people walking around or just living their life, they're not concerned about how much protein they're intaking.
Hmm.
They're just consuming food, and
Yep.
and and they're okay. And that's why the fast is the first step before starting any kind of diet, because it allows you to know what your body, what your genetics, what your buildup and your bio 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 makeup, right, is sensitive to,
Hmm.
right? Like some people really are good at digesting meat, it does
Hmm.
it for them, and some
Yep.
people are just very slow at digesting it, so that's the reason why they have to go with
Yep.
plants, and that's why that fast metabolism suits the plant eater, because it allows them to grow because of how fast his digestive system
Right.
burns the plant-based stuff,
Yep.
right? So I think that it's worth a try. Vegan diet is worth a try because it can only show you what you're currently doing wrong with how you're eating. It makes eating a discipline, and anything that can make eating a discipline, I think that is good. It's a good introduction to
For
to
sure.
to becoming to becoming aware of what you're consuming and why you're consuming.
Yep. That's perfect. I think both of y'all hit great points, man. And I don't even really have too much behind that because you got to do your research, man. Like Sho said, like everybody digests things different, and I think that's what Germ. You even said that you got to try stuff. You got to try different things.
That's right.
Certain foods may not necessarily digest with you. So I typically like to take the more alkaline approach, something that's going to do more than just give you protein, but also want to make sure
A
that your
lot more.
insides are clean, right? I want to make sure that you're getting the best of the best. And I think what Sho said, what God had already put here, I try to live by that mentality, right? So
Yeah.
there's vegetables out there that that are hybrid that we made, that are man made technically, right? So I'm not saying they're bad, but what I'm saying is for me, like that's kind of how I started, and I add my grains. So I'm gonna answer for protein, right? So for my grains, that's your protein, and the grains that I typically would eat is wild rice, chickpeas, quinoa, lentils, things like that. But I've also transitioned into fonio and amaranth. Those two are different grains, but they're ancient grains. So they're like one of the first grains, like before wheat, before
Yeah.
barley, right? That still give you that protein, but not only that, it
Fully
gives you
loaded.
that energy, that natural energy. You know what I'm saying? And so those are actually really good grains to eat for breakfast. I know people will say, your breakfast should be your biggest meal, right? Okay, cool. Well, take that into consideration when you want to put something healthy into your body. So, like a basic breakfast for me would be something like wild rice mixed with lentils, and I may do some type of leaf, maybe like spinach or like maybe some kale on the side, and some fruit. So fruit for the energy, the grains for the energy and for the protein, you know what I'm saying? Because we got to get to our gains, baby. And then we got the greens, of course, that's for your fiber. So that's something to me, most people would look at and say, oh, that's like a dinner or like a lunch. And I'm like, well, listen, I eat that breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know what I'm saying? And I just try to keep it as whole food as possible. So well balanced for me is something like high energy grains. Your leafy greens for your fiber, for your nutrients, your fruit for your vitamin A, C, K. And this is the nutrients that pushes to your body, so that way we can get all the vitamins necessary in order for us to be, completely healthy. So, that's what I would say. For the protein, just double up on the grains. I do 2 grains like wild rice and quinoa, or I might do like fonio and, lentils. It can be something like that. As far as the soy, none of those that I named have soy in it. None whatsoever. Right. I also have a food list. Shout out to Dr. Sabi. I'll just kind of post it real quick. I'm gonna just share my screen just so people can get an idea of what I mean. So here it is right here. All right, there it is right there. So everybody can kind of see the greens, the vegetables. There's mushrooms on there. I think show had said something about the cordyceps. So mushrooms are cool. Olives, tomatoes. You got your zucchini, fruits, mostly seeded. Nothing really seedless. The grains, they're all right here. Wild rice, spelt, quinoa, fonio, amaranth. Even your seeds like, hemp seeds, walnuts, Brazil nuts, things like that. So that's typically how I like to keep it. That's just the basic that what I use. And so I would recommend if anybody wants to start in this type of alkaline based, plant based, or whatever you want to call it, start this route so you're not just unknown of what to do. But I'm also giving you something good for nutrients based and to give you a healthy baseline foundation if you're going to go plant based. So I'll go ahead and do that.
That's a great list, man. I saw the list earlier on Instagram. I was saying that's a really good list.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Try to keep it that way, man. So yeah, that's I think that's a segue to the show. I think we'll go ahead and call it a day, fellas. You know what I'm saying?
All
So
right.
we like to kind of give what do you call it, like a slogan. You know what I'm saying? So typically what we like to say is when we face with an obstacle, what we do,
Hey, we
we
rise
rise
and
and rise.
rise, baby.
You know what I'm saying?
Peace.
So what I'll do is I'll kind of start it off by saying, when faced with an obstacle, what we do, and I'll have you and Show say, we rise and rise, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but before we do that, man, closing remarks. Show, I know you want to take it away, you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's it. We just make sure we just keep trying to do our best, man, daily.
Mm-hmm.
Try to consume some of those natural foods, those natural sources. If you're up for that fast, make sure you try to lock in. Lock in for a couple days. Let us know some feedback. I'm definitely going to. And I'll close with this. We enjoyed you, my guy, German. Always a
For sure.
pleasure.
Yes,
Kobe,
sir.
always a pleasure, man. Great show tonight, fellas. We dropped some gems.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, everybody enjoyed it and they learned as much as I got from it.
That's for
That's it.
sure, man. I definitely did, man. So, Jeremy, man, like I said, I appreciate you, bro. You dropped heck gems, bro. I'm talking about this is gonna be nice and clipped. I'm gonna send you everything, so you got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Any last remarks? You know what I'm saying before we close it out?
Yeah, I would say treat the body for what it is, and don't allow the mind to get in the middle. Um,
Mm,
because if you have a purpose and if you have an opportunity to choose to either eat something or not to eat it, is a choice that can either make you get closer to your purpose or further. So it's important to pay attention to how you're feeding the machine in order to make the ride a lot easier or a lot harder,
mm-hmm.
and fasting is a way to find out what things can allow the process to be easier. Like I mentioned the watermelon, right? One thing I used to do was go empty stomach, and then when I first started getting hungry, eat a watermelon. So your body becomes addicted to the right things because you're feeding it in the right time.
I like it, bro. Yo, that was huge.
So
I rock with it, man. I rock with it, bro. You more than welcome, man. Like I said, we
it's
here.
always.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Hey, when we face with an obstacle, what we
We
do,
rise. Uh, we rise and rise.
Rise and
There
rise,
you go.
baby.
Yeah,
That's
we gonna
right.
get it. We gonna get there. All right,
All
man.
right,
Listen,
guys.
Facebook. I appreciate y'all, man. This concludes the Rise and Rise Academy segment radio show. Tune in next week, next Wednesday, 7:30. You dig? Hey, we're
Yes,
gonna be
sir.
jumping some more gems, baby. We
Yeah,
got this
yeah.
thing.
Peace,
We'll see
Peace.
peace.
ya.